to introduce our council members first. We have Kurt Wade, who's here, Bill Shacklet, who's here, Jamie Averwater, who's back in the back, Sean Wright, who's also here. Austin Maxwell couldn't be here. Madeline Scales-Harris couldn't be here, but you have a good group of council members who represent you, and there's a lot that's been going on, specifically in this area. We also have our City TV3 who is here, and a shameless plug, you know, the days of not knowing what's going on in your community are no longer. We've got Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, Channel 3. We've got all of these opportunities that you can keep up. Last night I did a Facebook Live thing, and I think as of this morning there were 6,000 views on that. So we're going to try to do better, making sure that we keep you up to date, because there is a lot that's going on out specifically here. I also want to thank Blackman Community Club for allowing us to be here. Blackman United Methodist Church will do we'll do a tithing. We'll take an offering here in a little bit. Just kidding. We also have, if you work with the city of Murfreesboro, if you'll raise your hand, so you can see how many of our team members are here. So thank you all for being here. We're going to go over tonight and update you about road projects that are happening in this area. We're going to update you on Veterans Park that we voted last Thursday night. We actually approved the contract, $16 million for Veterans Park. So Nate Williams is going to tell you about that. But I do want to tell you one thing, and I wish I would not miss this for anything in the world. Is Romel here? I saw Romel. Yeah. So Romel, District 19, right? Yeah. So Romel McMurray is your commissioner. So thank you for being here as well. And we also have the town manager of Smyrna who came. Dan's back there. So thank you, Dave, not Dan. Thank you for being here. The county is having a big discussion tonight, and I know tells you how much Romel thinks about y'all, because being here, they're talking about expanding the landfill tonight. And you don't have to go back very far to know where the city of Murfreesboro and where we stand on expanding the landfill, but I think it's going to be very important for you to keep up with what's happening. Republic, you know, back in 2018, Joe Gurley was on the commission. Back at that time, the county commission voted 19-1 to not allow or even consider the county landfill to be sold to anyone. Something's changed, and that discussion is occurring. So it basically would allow Middle Point landfill to continue for the next 30 plus years in our community. And you can do your own research. I think the sentiment right now is that basically, unless you live around the landfill, that you don't care. Anyone who wants to call and talk to me, or I can come back at some point and solely talk about the landfill, I think you really need to make sure and you look at that. The city council has been really steadfast. As a matter of fact, we're in a federal lawsuit right now. We've been in a federal lawsuit since 2022 with Republic Industries on some of the things that are happening at that landfill. So if you don't think it affects you on the west side of town, then you need to really research where your drinking water comes from. You need to research all of these things that are happening in our community. I will say that the cheapest thing for us to do is going to be to continue burying our trash and then allowing Nashville to bring a significant portion of their trash here. But I would submit to you that I think there's probably better things for our community to be known for besides being the largest landfill in the state of Tennessee and largest landfill in the country. So I digress, but that's literally going on right now. That discussion is happening at Public Works. So let's start with an update on Veterans Park. And Nate Williams so the format, we're going to talk about 3 or 4 different topics. And Nate's going to update you on what's happening. We've got lots of other people who are going to update you on what's happening, and then the city council is going to be here to take questions. Nate?
Hey, thank you all for letting us come out tonight. We're really excited. Like the mayor indicated, we had several projects approved last week, and let me give you just a quick background on the other couple major ones. We're about to renovate the Old Fort Park ball field. If anybody's been around here for a while, you've seen the ball field that's been here since the 70s, and that's going to have just a new surface, new parking area, correct some stormwater drainage issues. So that's one big park. It's a $3 million project. We also at Patterson Park Community Center, we're about to expand the parking, correct the parking issues that we have there, along with installing Murfreesboro's first splash pad there, and then a new playground. So we think that's going to be a great amenity for the Patterson Park community area. But I think what you all are looking for really tonight in this area is talk about Veterans Park. I know we've been talking about it for some time. We've been working hard, especially over the past year and a half, 2 years, to make this come to fruition. I think we're going to put it up on the screen. And that's really little. I brought some handouts. I've got a couple left if anybody needs them. Does anybody not have one? Yep. So I'm going to go over just really briefly, be very brief in my comments because it's hard to see. But what I think might be best is if you have questions, if you want to jot those down, if you want to ask the mayor or any of the council members in this setting, you can. But I'll stay around after if you want to write notes and want specifics about exactly what the park entails. I'd be glad to go over every detail you want to after. So look at it, take notes, ask questions. But what we see is 153 acres with a main entrance off the Veterans Parkway. The first thing you'll notice is the trail system. We have multiple miles of trails. If you go in to the right, we have 8 pickleball courts that will be built. And that's really the heart of the park that kind of gets where the playground areas is. And I'm going to show you that in just a second, kind of the architectural language of the park, so you have an idea of what it's going to look like. So to be brief, we've got 8 pickleball courts, we've got an event lawn, a destination playground, which will be the biggest nice playground we have in the park system. We also have an event lawn that will be able to host concerts, community events, that type of thing, which is a great need in the community. Also, we'll have 4 rentable pavilions. One will act as a stage as needed for events, and it's tied to the event lawn. But if we can go to the next slide, I'm just going to kind of thumb through. We don't have renderings of everything, but I wanted to give you an idea of what we do have in color renderings. So that's an overview of the top side of the playground. If you want to go to the next one, and we can kind of just flip through these. There's several, but that's the actual colors, that's the actual play features that we have, along with using natural hills to incorporate into the playground, which we don't have, and it's really unique as a play feature. You can keep going. And then the next few slides will kind of show the staple play features within this playground. Looks like a lot of fun. So I wanted to give you, again, just an idea of what it's going to look like. In just a second, you'll see a picture if you want to keep going. This is a rendering of what the pavilion network will be like. This is the main pavilion that will act as a stage, and it will serve multiple uses. It'll be able to, like I said, accommodate events that we're not able to right now, and different events that we do. So you can go to the next one and just kind of see what the architectural language of the park looks like. And like I said, this is really just such a brief explanation of the park. Yeah, thanks, Sam. So it was approved. We expect dirt moving in March in some form or fashion, most likely erosion control. We'll be giving a notice to proceed in a few weeks once we get the contract finalized, and we're expecting a 12-month construction schedule. Of course, we're getting into the rainy season. You know how that goes. So our expectation is 12 months. It could, go either way just a little bit, but that's the plan so far. Ideally, March of 26, but we're not saying that officially, right, Mayor? Week 7. Thank you all so much. Again, if you want to take notes, I'll be around to ask as many questions as you want to specific later. Thank you.
All right. I'll go ahead and get to the one question before it comes. The question is, when are we going to build some baseball and softball parks? And our baseball and softball park, Bill and I, we still coach a bunch. We need baseball and softball fields. We did not think that this site was probably the best since it is next door to Berkshire and the Cloister. So we've got the 127 acres that is out actually on Highway 96. It's going to be lend a little more to that. This park is 16.3 million, 16.4 million. We came in about $9 million under what our engineer estimates were on the entire park. So hopefully we're going to be able to use that for other things. All right, next we've got road and transportation updates. This is Chris Griffith. Chris, how long have you been with the city?
22 years.
22 years. One plug I would tell y'all, the majority of the roads in Murfreesboro, are those city roads or state roads? State roads. The majority of our main roads in the city of Murfreesboro are all state roads. Highway 231, 99, 96, Bradyville Pike, Thompson Lane, basically any road in the city of Murfreesboro that has a number on it, that's a state road. We just got finished, Jim Kerr's here, who's our lead transportation guy. We just did a segment with Jay Norris. He's the Region 3. There's 4 directors in the state, region directors, and Jay did an update with us about a week ago that just came out on City TV 3 and all of our social media platforms that will tell y'all about all of the state projects inside the city of Murfreesboro that are occurring. And if you have questions, we can talk to you about that. Bradyville, Veterans Interchange, lighting, there's all kinds of things that we talked about there. So, Chris?
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for this opportunity to be here today. I've been with the city the main project that's going on here in the Blackman community. Then I've got some I'll hit on briefly just throughout the city. The first one, and probably the main one you guys are mostly interested in, is the Blackman, Burnt Knob, and Manson Pike intersection. We're basically, it's an intersection project, and if you'll flip on to the next slide. I know that's kind of small there, but if you just look up, yeah, there you go. Just up and to the right, that for your bearing's sake, that's where the existing Blackman store is operating now. So to the left would be where the old Blackman store is, and yes, to answer your question, we will take out the old Blackman store. We'll go through that building. We really want to try to make as little of an impact as possible, but it's going to be a full array of lanes there, and it's also going to be signalized just to help. I actually used to live just down the road from here in the Foothills subdivision, so I battled that intersection many times. So the project has been bid. It will start. Actually starts this Friday. It'll probably be a slow start to it as far as Friday, but here in the next couple of weeks, our goal is we got a 180-day construction schedule, but is to be open by the time that school opens up in August of this year. So we will be fast tracking it and doing our very best to have it open by then. It's about just numbers wise, it's auto, right away, construction, everything. It's about a $7 million project. Next slide. Big project. We're actually meeting with TDOT on. As the mayor said, this is another example of a state route that we're doing work on, or we hope to be doing work on. We're meeting with TDOT Thursday morning to discuss some of the specifics of it. But it's basically widening Old Fort Parkway to 6 lanes, curb and gutter, multi-use paths, sidewalks, the whole 9 yards. The biggest thing that you'll notice, other than the additional lane on that, is there'll be a lot more exits to, say, like Chick-fil-A and Target and Walmart and some of the places that's off the road there. So you won't have to pile everybody up to one red light necessarily to everybody trying to enter into those areas. So we appreciate, I know the council's been really on us to get something done with that. I appreciate Sean's support in that. Sean Wright's been a big supporter of us through the Planning Commission. Okay, next slide. Medical Center Parkway Phase 2, we're almost complete with Phase 1 as far as just the widening of it. That should be done here within the next couple of months, and then we'll start Phase 2, which will include the Thompson Lane intersection, and it'll go all the way around to the fountains, and again, we'll widen that all the way to 6 lanes. We'll keep the median, but it'll be a smaller median. Yes, a lot of landscaping will be coming out of it, but we will replant and smaller trees, more in keeping with the area. Next slide. New Salem Highway Phase 3, we just finished Phase 2. The TDOT did, again, it's the State Route 99. They just finished Phase 2, and so obviously we're going to go into Phase 3, which will be Cason Lane to Veterans Parkway. That project has been bid, and it's scheduled to start later this month. Go next slide. And I think this is the, oh no, we got 2 more. Thompson Lane widening, long been in the works, all the way from Broad Street to Memorial. TDOT is another state route, State Route 268. It's scheduled to start in 2026. And that they're going to do it all as one project, over $100 million that TDOT is spending in Murfreesboro to widen this to a 5-lane roadway. And I think the last slide, yeah, the Murfreesboro Transit Center. We should be open for business in the spring there, just kind of a central hub for all of our buses, and then also the buses from Nashville. Is that right, Jimbo? On the buses coming from Nashville back and forth will also be based out of here, or will do their pickups here. So we'll be excited to have them there as well. Just like Nate said, I know you guys probably got questions. I will stay here after the meeting for as long as you guys need me. Just I'll be over here. Just catch us, and we'll be glad to answer anything that you have.
We've got a lot of road projects that are going on inside the city of Murfreesboro. 70-some-odd% of our CIP, our capital improvement plans, are all towards road projects. So there's a lot that's going on. Before I introduce Chief Bowen, you know, one of the things, and I think the council, we just had a strategic retreat that we talked about, and take transportation projects and those other things aside. The number one priority that we always talk about is keeping Murfreesboro safe. And I'm proud to report that our police department and our fire department, Chief McCluskey is here. The fire department, for the first time in a long time, is 100% fully staffed. We don't have any openings. Our police department, we got at one point to where we were 50 plus officers down when we were trying to hire people. What's happened is we're in this arms race where one municipality goes up and then the other municipality goes up. And so finally the city council just said, hey, we're really tired of looking at what other communities are doing. We're going to do what's right for Murfreesboro. And so this past year it was July, right, Jamie, at this budget, we gave one of the most significant police increases that we had given. Chief, what does our starting police officer make now? Yeah, so Chief, a lateral move will make around $70,000 to come to the city of Murfreesboro, and then we made it, we couldn't do it all at one time. In August, we in turn did the same thing with our fire department. And so we have taken a significant amount of your taxpayer dollars and invested that solely in public safety. And there's several things that I think Chief is going to update you, the virtual program that they've put in place, and we routinely are getting emails. Larry Flowers is our Chief Information Officer, or PIO, for the police department. And I think we got an email last night where we caught a criminal that we did that through our license plate reader program. And I think we're routinely getting about 1 or 2 of those a week. And these are not like, hey, this guy ran the red light. I mean, these are people that you don't want on the streets that we've been able to catch because we've been able to partner with the network in our country to identify those people. So, Chief, why don't you tell us about it? And y'all have to clap for him because he is armed. So.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. My name's Mike Bone. I'm Chief of Police for the Murfreesboro Police Department. Been with the agency for 37 years. My younger days, everybody familiar with Deerfield community right here? Dad built a house for us there in 1980, so I spent most of my time just on the backside of the Honda dealership there through high school. Graduated from Riverdale High School in '85, and have been amazed at the growth and transformation of Murfreesboro over the years. I can tell you this, and I'll touch on some of these things here in a minute. We've got a great city, not a perfect city. We've got to deal with our share of criminal issues, but when you look at the numbers and you look at the things that are being done, we've got a wonderful city to live in. One of the big projects that we've taken on, and it's really started transforming itself, was the Real-Time Crime Center. And basically, I'm going to back up. Mayor kind of touched on recruiting. So going back a couple of years, I was able to attend a conference in Virginia with, had chiefs from sheriffs across the country. And one of the big things that we talked about recruiting, it wasn't a local Murfreesboro thing, it was a nationwide issue. I think they said before the class we were asked to turn in our number one topic of concern, and they said it was the first year that the overwhelming majority of police chiefs had picked recruiting and retention. And this will lead into that, I hope. But basically, we got to talking about that. And then some of the things we had to look at with a lot of the staffing shortages, how can we work better? And some of the things that we came up with were, hey, can we civilianize some of these positions? We have now civilian crime scene investigators, and I guess it's due to CSI and some of these TV shows. When we advertise for those positions, people really apply and they really want to do those jobs. And what those individuals do is go out, they investigate crime scenes and they do things, and we're able to get them on board, we're able to get them trained a lot sooner than we can a police officer. And they do a wonderful job. Their courtroom testimony, they get praises, accolades, great stuff. Well, in the same step, we said, hey, how can we focus our resources better? What can we do to make sure we're putting our officers and police officers in the right place at the right time to help solve these crimes? And that's when we started developing our analyst position. So we got our analysts on board, and then we started talking strategies and ways to use those analysts to the best of their ability. So what we did is we started looking at doing a real-time crime center. The real-time crime center, all that means is that we got a location in the police department where we're receiving information almost immediately, not quite immediately, but we're getting it pretty quick, a lot quicker than we used to. So we've staffed that now. We've got Ryan, who's our analyst supervisor, and we've got 3 other analysts working that. And so one of the initial investments we made in that crime center was pursuing LPR technology. And I tell you, LPR technology, I get it. A lot of people are concerned about privacy and have concerns about the technology. I can tell you the way we use the technology, it's for vehicle identification. It's not for individual identification. So when you're driving your car and we read your tag, we're not identifying you as an individual. We're just picking up the vehicle. State law allows us to store that information for 90 days. We store it for 30 because most of the times we can get the information we need or know when we need it pretty quick. So we've got those in place. We started off initially installing those on city streets, and then we also applied for a grant with the state where we were approved for some additional LPRs, and those will go on. One of the conditions of the grant is they have to go on state right-of-ways, and they have to go on like interstate exchanges, things like that, which is where we were deficient. So that component of that project will be coming up soon. Three components with the Crime Center. You've got the LPR technology, and the next technology would be the public safety camera systems. The camera systems are not meant to be a deterrent, so to speak. They're there for solvability. You'd be amazed with cameras in place what kind of things happen in front of them on a regular basis. And basically we go to those cameras, retrieve information when we need it, and use it to investigate crimes of that nature. The placement of our real-time or public safety cameras is based on violent crime data, and we place them in areas where we've shown a need due to complaints or other things of that nature. All the information on this particular set of cameras that we have up now, and that will change over time, is stored on the camera. So we don't access it unless we're saying, hey, we're investigating a crime. We don't have people surfing the cameras. We have limited access to cameras because we want to respect everybody's privacy and concerns over how we handle that material. The next component of the Crime Center is, we call it gunshot detection technology. You got to remember, Murfreesboro is over 65 square miles. Where we have this technology installed is less than 5 square miles. And there again, it's based on data that we have to identify areas where we have high rates of shots incidents. And the big advantage that this gives us is it alerts us of calls that sometimes go unreported, and it gives us a quicker notification. It's pretty amazing technology because it lets us get to about 90 feet of where that shots fired incident occurred, which lets us go out, and if there are people are still out there, we can pick up brass, we can pick up evidence, and we can kind of talk to people in there and see if they know anything about what occurred. So that's a pretty useful technology. It's new technology, so it's something that we'll have to keep evaluating as time goes on and see if it's something that we will continue to pursue. I can tell you the LPR technology has paid off dividends. We have cases now that probably wouldn't have been solved had it not been for the LPR technology. If you look at the slide, it'll tell you that, and remember, we haven't been running, we haven't been fully operational with all the technologies in place until mid-2024, but we experienced over 400 responses, whether it be just locating a stolen vehicle, making an arrest, or things of that nature based on the system that we have in place. So it's proven itself to be pretty effective in our response to crimes. If you look at the initial comparison for 23 to 2024, you can see a lot of greens on the right side when we compare crimes, which is all positive. It shows that we're trending downward in our criminal offenses when we do that comparison from 23 to 24. And then when you look at our calls for service, we're also showing a decrease in those from 2023 to 2024. Positive news is good. I hope that trend continues, but it's stuff that we'll definitely have to stay on top of. I know that we will publish our year-end report and have it available on the website, hopefully by the 1st of March. And then we also keep, if you wonder how Murfreesboro compares to other cities, we also keep that, the Crime in Tennessee report, which is produced by the TBI. We keep that on our website as well, and it's something that you can easily access through our website. Crime Center, same thing. If you have questions, don't hesitate to call and ask us. And if you go on there, we have some frequently asked questions if you have concerns, and hopefully we're answering those the right way. If not, pick up the phone, call us anytime. Ryan, who's our analyst, Jeff Keaton, any of us can speak to you, and we'll be glad to spend time with you if you have any concerns.